Hello everyone. So what I'm going to do today is to give you a better introduction about what we are learning in Edexcel IGCSE biology. That is basically the double science award. So when you turn the pages of the book, so first of all you will see how the book is arranged. First of all, the course structure is given, right? And then they have introduced about how this book is going to work. So we have to know how to use the book first of all, and then they have given all the 6 units that we are going to do. So the units have been divided, like all the IGCSE biology content is divided into 6 units. So and then they have the appendices, where we have in appendix A we can see the guideline. So they have a guide to some exam questions, so how to write those exam questions, what they are expecting us, and all those things. And in appendix B they have some command words which we find in the exam. And so we have the glossary where we come across the difficult parts, that is the terminology related to our subject, and then the index where you can find different topics by their page numbers. So after that, so you will basically have the coursework. So all the units have been divided and then they have been indicated, and then so we have to go to see how the book is worked. Here in unit 1 we have 2 chapters, and so it contains basically the basic information that we have to know before we study biology, right, about living organisms and their characteristics and all. And then in unit 2 we'll be learning about the animal physiology. It means we learn how the organisms breathe, how do they digest food, and how transportation happens in animals, and so on. So there we have 7 chapters, and it's a little bit the gravity is more and it's in depth. So it will take, like, if we study them in year 9, normally we do all of them in year 9, so this will take a lot of time to study. And then unit 3 parallelly will have plant physiology, where there also we have the nutrition in plant, that is how the plants make their own food, how transportation happens, how they do the chemical coordination, and also the reproduction in plants. So that is how it's divided like this. Unit 3 contains about there are 4 chapters. And then in unit 4 we learn about our environment, that is the ecology chapters. So there are 2 chapters in there. And then in unit 5, so we basically learn about variation and selection, where we learn about cell division, genes, how natural selection happens, and also on. There also we have about 5 different chapters, and it will also take some time. And unit 6 basically contains 2 chapters, and it's quite shorter compared to the other chapters, and that's how it goes. So basically normally when we study them for the O levels, normally unit 1, 2 and 3 we try to cover mostly in year 9, and then unit 4, 5 and 6 we try to cover them in year 10. Basically, if we divide the O levels into 2 years, so we cover the unit 1 to 3 in the first year, and unit 4 to 6 in the second year. That's how this course book is a very nicely compiled book containing all the necessary information what we have to study for our exams. And so basically when we study the science double award, so we have to go through this very carefully. And normally when our lesson is started, like here they give the learning objectives, so we will get to know what we learn throughout this lesson from these learning objectives. And then sometimes you will see some icon like this, that is the key points. So in key points, we can get to know some summaries regarding our when we have long paragraphs over here, some of it summarized in these key points. In some of the chapters you will have some parts like this, that is called the looking ahead part, right? So in this part, that is not particularly related to O-levels, but if you study biology further, that is if you do A-levels, that is IAL, then you will learn about this looking ahead parts in detail. So we can have a basic knowledge in O-levels, but then in depth we will learn in A-levels. And then all the practicals have been given with the method, so in detail how the practical is done, and a demonstration is given. So it's very easy to do the practicals when we have this, because it's nicely given the method. So we have to emphasize on these practical pages also when we are doing the practical. So sometimes we also come across these purple boxes. These purple boxes are called as the extension work. So in this extension work, you don't have to necessarily study them, right? But then we can read them to enhance our knowledge in biology, right? So basically, this will enhance a lot of our application side of biology. And finally, when the lesson is over, we will come across a lot of questions. So those questions comes with this skills. Normally they will categorize the questions according to the skills that they analyze. Some will be based on critical thinking, some would be based on reasoning, some would be just analysis questions, like that. There are the different skills that we develop while answering these questions. So they've been nicely tagged. So the skill tags are there, and then you would see these kind of icons. When you do the questions, you will see these progression icons. So these progression icons exactly tell us to the degree of difficulty of the question. So some might be of like the degree 5, 5th degree, 6th degree, right? 6th degree question, 5th degree question. Some questions are really short, and like the gravity of the question is like so small, so like the difficulty is less. So when it becomes a very difficult question, these degrees can go up to the question, this progression icon can go up to 12 degrees. So if it is a 12 degree question, it means the question is much harder, right? So this is a 8 degree question, it means the question is a little harder, right? Normally at the end of every chapter there are chapter questions. So these chapter questions, after the chapter questions, after every unit you will have the unit questions. Now when you have done all these unit questions, you will have a generalized understanding about your knowledge on the exact unit. So if you do these questions and if you analyze yourself, so you will get to know how much deep you know about each unit. So basically doing all these chapter questions and unit questions is important. So we can have we have a marking scheme for these unit questions and chapter questions. So once you're done with that, you can, with the help of the teacher, you can mark the books. The teacher can mark and then give you these the answer for these questions. So basically if you study this book properly throughout your year 9 and 10, definitely you can go for an A-star grade. If we have a nice resource book, so we have to utilize the resource book so nicely. So very efficiently. If we use it very efficiently, by following all the different tactics that they have given. So they have given tips in different ways, and they have helped us to enhance our knowledge in different ways. So if you use this resource book properly, definitely you all can go for a